Unusually cold in the Miami area, 57 degrees. The wind will be a factor at 12 miles an hour. The forecast mostly cloudy weather all day. Let's go back to Solomon Wilcott. Solly.
Yeah, Mike, as you look at the field, the wind is blowing very hard from your right to your left. But if you look at the flag blowing at the top of the stadium, it's blowing the other way. It's sort of swirling down here on the field. Watching the kickers warm up before the game, as they were punting, the balls would just die in midair. If they were kicking with the wind, well, of course, the ball would continue to sail. It's going to be a challenge for these kickers today.
All right, Solomon, and field position will certainly play a factor in this game, and that is the Dolphins game. Field position. Olindo Mate will kick it off. He'll be kicking with the wind. And Terrence Wilkins is the deep man for the Indianapolis Colts. This game is blacked out in the Miami area, not sold out in time, but there are only a handful of empty seats right now. And the playoffs are underway, and Murray crushes one. Here are the Colts starting backs and receivers.
Peyton Manning, quarterback, University of Tennessee.
Edwin James, every down back, University of Miami.
Marvin Harrison, wide receiver, Syracuse University.
Jerome Payton, wide receiver, University of Washington.
Marcus Pollard, tight end, Bradley University.
Ken Dilger, tight end, University of Illinois.
The Colts will start 1st and 10 from their own 20. Peyton Manning, 4,413 yards passing. He led the National Football League. Manning to throw on 1st down. Complete for a gain of only 1. Here's the Colts offensive line.
Glenn, offensive tackle, University of California at Berkeley.
Steve McKinney, left guard, Texas A&M University. Larry Moore, offensive guard, Brigham Young University.
Adam Meadows, offensive tackle, University of Georgia.
Jeff Saturday, center, University of North Carolina.
So the Colts complete their first pass, but only for a yard to Dilger, the tight end. Edgerrin James takes it out to the 28-yard line, too shy of a 1st down. Brock Marion with the tackle.
You want to take advantage of the fact that Miami wants to bring their ends up the field. So when you do that, you can kick them out and allow Edgerrin James to come underneath. Dilger comes across. He traps Jason Taylor, which allows James to turn upfield. Look at the job by Pathon. These receivers may not be big of the Colts, but they'll mix it up with them.
Edgerrin James with his 2nd consecutive rushing fight. 3rd and 2 Colts. Blitz coming. Incomplete, knocked down by Madison. Intended for Terrence Wilkins.
But, you know, this guy, Sam Madison, is just an outstanding corner. I mean, he really plays the ball. He said he will not look at Peyton Manning's eyes. Watch him play Wilkins. He plays him perfectly. Now the ball comes, and he just reaches in. Just perfect timing.
It's another Pro Bowler for that Miami defense. Hunter Smith to kick it away. Jeff Ogden is back with O.J. McDuffie. Short kick into the wind. Ogden to the 47. 34-yard kick, 10-yard return. There's a marker down, and it will be a hold against Miami.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 23, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Jeff Triplett makes the call. Let's look at Miami's starting backs and receivers.
Jay Fiedler, quarterback from Dartmouth College.
Lamar Smith, running back, University of Houston.
Rob Conrad, fullback, Syracuse University. Tony Martin, wide receiver, Mason State.
Alonda Gadsden, wide receiver, Winston-Salem State University. Hunter Goodwin, tight end, Texas A&M University.
Because of the wind, it could be a game of field position. The Dolphins have already squandered some great field position with that penalty. Jay Fiedler, 14 touchdown passes, 14 interceptions. Except for a couple of bad games, his numbers would be much better than that. Fiedler first down to Martin to the 39.
Tony Martin, number 80, up against Mustafa Muhammad. Now, everybody expects the Dolphins to come out and run Lamar Smith. Why not? That's what they do very well. I would look for him to take a different approach, just the way they started this game. Throw the ball a bit, loosen up that Colt defense, then start to pound them.
And right now they've got J.J. Johnson as the up back in front of Lamar Smith. Smith on the toss. Big hole up the middle to the Colts 43.
Well, they had Muhammad, who was a corner. They had him on a blitz, and he's just trying to avoid the blocker instead of going right at Lamar Smith. On the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see it. He goes around the blocker, and that enabled Smith to get up the middle of the field.
From the ump cam, look at the hole that he has to run through. Goes flying by the umpire, and the Colts couldn't catch up to him.
Ripped off a 17-yard game, and here he goes again down to the 34. Here's Miami's offensive line.
Christian Webb, offensive tackle, Texas A&M University.
Todd Wade, offensive tackle, Ole Miss. Mark Dixon, offensive guard, University of Virginia.
Kevin Donnelly, guard, the University of North Carolina.
Tim Ruddy, center, University of Notre Dame.
Miami moving the ball very well on its opening possession. 2nd and a yard from the 34. Fiedler to throw. Can't find anybody, and they'll sack him back at the 40-yard line. Good pass rush by Bernard Whittington and Ellis Johnson, the tackles.
Well, when you look at Jay Fiedler, he runs a little play action, and he wants to go down the field, but just take a look at the coverage. There's absolutely no one to throw the ball to. Everybody is covered. Here it comes again. There's Muhammad again on Gaston, and here comes Whittingham on a Whittington, on a sack. You just, when you hold the ball that long, you're going to get hit.
Yeah, but it's a good decision because he doesn't want to make a mistake. He's willing to take the sacks and protect the ball.
3rd and 6. Fiedler to Denson, and that's a forward pass, incomplete.
Now keep in mind, he doesn't have to throw the ball overhand towards the line of scrimmage. Even a shovel pass like this one is considered a forward pass and an incompletion.
The interesting thing, talking to Trenius Bennett yesterday, is he was saying that we want them, we're going to shut down a run and force them to pass, them being Miami. Well,
how about
first play.
How about this 4th down? 4th down and 6. And Dave Wanstead has said, I'm willing to take chances. I think he believes with the wind at his back and as good as his defense is, he's willing to take that chance now.
Mate could have tried what would have been a 56-yard field goal. Instead, they go for it on 4th down. Blitz coming. Fiedler with time. Knocked away, incomplete. Peterson with great coverage downfield on McDuffie.
Boy, that's just a linebacker. Peterson, number 52, looking at the quarterback and watching his eyes.
Neither team could score on its opening possession. Back in a moment.
He wants to get in the Hall of Fame that way.
Colts will start from their own 39. Manning into the wind. Complete to Pathan down at the 36-yard line. 25 yards on the throw. Brian Walker made the tackle.
The way you attack a 2-deep coverage with the corners up and the safeties back is you work behind the corners. Pathan puts pressure, holds the safety inside. Walker can't get to the outside. And Manning's arm is so strong, he can muscle the ball into the wind.
1st and 10 from the 36. James is the single setback. 2 tight ends, and Edger and James trying to get to the corner. Surtain did a nice job on the outside. Here's Miami's defensive front 7.
Defensive end, Louisiana State. Jason Taylor, defensive end, the infamous University of Akron. Tim Bowens, defensive tackle, University of Mississippi. Daryl Gardner, defensive lineman, Baylor University.
Derek Rodney, outside linebacker, Arizona State.
Robert Jones, linebacker, East Carolina.
Hi, I'm Zach Thomas, linebacker, Texas Tech.
Infamous Akron.
Second and 9. Manning appears to be changing the play. Sometimes that's a decoy. Blitz coming. Drops it off to James. Edgerrin James to the 22. First down. Colts another gain of 13.
Joe, you talked about the patience of Peyton Manning. That time he just steps up into the pocket. He was going to go downfield. They ran a little play action. And then watch this. Boom, little play action. Edgerrin James looks down the field. Here they come. Dump it off to Edgerrin James. There's nobody on him because all the linebackers are gone.
One of the reasons Bill Polian drafted him and traded Marshall Faulk to get into that spot was that he was such an excellent pass receiver. Caught 63 balls during the regular season. Manning with a play fake goes deep. Payton incomplete. Madison was back there with him and pushed him at the end line. The question for the official, would he have come down in bounds if he hadn't been shoved?
I think the ball is thrown just a tad too far. You see him go up through the air. Now, does he come down? That's a tough judgment call for the official because you've got the receiver's momentum carrying him out of bounds. If he'd have jumped straight up in the air and started to come down and then was pushed out, I think it could have been ruled differently.
James cuts it up the middle inside the 15. Here's Miami's secondary.
At third hand, cornerback, University of Southern Miss.
Sam Madison, defensive back, University of Louisville.
Brian Walker, strong safety, Washington University. Fort Marion, free safety, University of Nevada, Reno.
That is some secondary, too. A couple of Pro Bowlers, Madison and Brock Marion in his first. Madison in his second as a starter.
When you get down around the goal line, you got to figure Marvin Harrison is a guy they love to try and get the football.
Third and 2. Incomplete, nearly picked off by Jerry Wilson. Thrown behind the receiver, and here comes Mr. Automatic, Mike Vanderjagt, the field goal kicker.
Edgerrin James coming out of the backfield, and I'll tell you, outstanding coverage by Jerry Wilson, number 24. Watch Edgerrin James. He comes out of the backfield. Now he's going to plant. He come across the middle. Look at this timing. Wilson is there. That ball, if anyone was going to catch it, it would have been Wilson.
Well, I think that's a product of guys playing each other so much. You saw Wilson break so quickly.
Vanderjagt has missed only 2 all year, one from 59, one from 47. In his career, he's been more accurate than anyone. This will be from 32. Money in the bank. The Colts get the first points of the game. They're up 3-0.
You are something.
He can attack from anywhere.
Colts on top 3-0. Danny Kite, he is the kickoff specialist. And back deep for the Dolphins, Audrey Denson and Kevin Williams, who is number 5 in the NFL in kickoff returns. Williams from the 3. And taken down at the 27-yard line. We have a timeout. Peyton Manning and company with a 3-0 lead over the Dolphins in Miami. Playing for the 3rd time in 35 days. That hasn't happened in the NFL since 1943. It does make the preparation for the coaches a little easier.
Giants and the Redskins in 43 did it.
You play in that game?
No, I missed that.
Fiedler on first down. That one's up for grabs and almost caught at the 34-yard line. That ball floated forever.
Well, David Macklin, number 27, misjudges the ball. He just goes up too soon. Look at this. He misjudged. Watch the ball go over his shoulder. He was up too soon, and the ball floated.
Because of the position of the sun in this stadium, both of them were looking right up into the sun. He just loses it completely. Both he and Gadsden can't find it.
Gadsden had it twice, couldn't hold it. Johnson and Smith in the backfield together. Lamar Smith on the toss. The flag is down. So is Smith at the 35. Now we'll check the marker.
I bet you it's holding against Miami.
I'll bet you're right.
Now, I bet you Dave doesn't want to see the penalty start again.
Holding 65 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Kevin Donnelly, the right guard.
From the ump cam, we get to see it. Number 65, Kevin Donnelly on Josh Williams. Number 96 sees that take place, and there comes the flag. Right out of the right part of his thing.
Got everything.
The ump throwing the flag, the ump taking the picture.
2nd and 20 for Miami. Fiedler, nice fake. Screen. Johnson. JJ to the 28. Here's the Colts defensive front 7.
Brad Scioli, defensive end, Penn State University.
Chad Bradsky, defensive end, Eastern Kentucky University.
Bernard Whittington, defensive tackle, Indiana University.
Ellis Johnson, defensive line, University of Florida.
Cornelius Bennett, outside linebacker, University of Alabama.
Dwight Hollier, linebacker, University of North Carolina.
Mike Peterson, linebacker, University of Florida.
Miami comes out on 3rd and 9 in a 4-wide receiver set, including Jeff Ogden, 88. 4-man rush. Fiedler underneath. McDuffie can't hold it. Good coverage anyway by Burris.
It was excellent coverage, Joe. Again, you're in the playoff games or any time during the course of the year, Joe, and you're throwing a pattern. You need 9 yards, and you're throwing a 7-yard pattern.
Well, but still, you don't have the time to get the receivers that far. What really hurts Miami is getting the big penalties and forcing the long yardage situations. This offense is not built to try and overcome those type of problems.
Matt Turk is on to kick. He's had a terrible week. His brother Dan died from cancer December 23rd at the age of 38. Nobody but Dave Wannstedt knew about it. A beautiful punt from Turk, and he knocks it out of bounds near the 20. 51-yard boot with the win. Timeout in Miami. It's still the Colts up by a field goal. Your discretion is advised. Dennis is wonderful, isn't he?
You bet.
Colts start from the 21. Miami defense has carried the club this entire year. And it looks like they're going to have to do it again today. The offense not operating on all cylinders.
Well,
yet.
they can't let this Colt offense take control of the game and get too far ahead because they have to protect their offense. Their offense is not the kind that can throw the ball a lot and come back. They've only done it once this year.
Manning incomplete, intended for Pollard. Chain was there. Edgerrin James has really cut a swath through the NFL in his first 2 seasons as a pro. Led the league in rushing for the 2nd straight season. Did it as a rookie. Led the NFL in yards from scrimmage, over 2,300 yards. And is the first player in NFL history to rush for 1,500 and catch passes for 500 in a season 2 times. Only 6 other players have ever done it once. Wonderful start to his career. Payton with a quick strike and a solid tackle by Marion.
No, I like that call. I think that is such... Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, just did what I think people don't do enough. It's 3rd and long. You run the blitz. You force Peyton Manning to throw the hot receiver. You tackle him and you get off the field. Payton does exactly what he's supposed to do. Manning does what he's supposed to do, and Marion does what he's supposed to do. Put him on the ground.
McDuffie and Ogden, the double deep men for the punt of Hunter Smith. Kicking into a stiff wind. Gets off a beauty.
Wow, did he hit this?
All the way back to the 15 goes Ogden. And takes it out to the 34. What a kick into the wind. 57 yards for Hunter, the punter. 3-0. home of the Bowl Championship Series. Dolphins from their own 34. Lamar Smith pounds forward for almost 6. Here's the Colts secondary.
Jeff Burris, cornerback, University of Notre Dame.
Mustafa Muhammad, cornerback, Fresno State University.
Chad Cota, strong safety, University of Oregon, Fighting Ducks.
Jason Dawson, safety, University of Oklahoma.
So far for Lamar Smith, 3 carries, 32 yards.
They just got to keep feeding him the ball.
First down and more. Smith to the 49. And Lamar Smith has really come out of nowhere. He's in his 7th year in the pros. Smith, second all-time in Dolphins history. Single season, 1,139 yards rushing. 14 rushing touchdowns. That's second in Dolphins history.
And with Lamar Smith in this offense, I mean, it's a great offensive line. This is what Lamar Smith has done.
A workhorse, 309 carries. That's a club record as well. Smith again, not much this time.
Well, you keep giving it to him, Mike, until they stop him. When you say not much, he picked up 3.5 yards on this play.
But that is the personality of this offense. Chan Gailey has always been a coordinator who really likes to run the football. His preference would be to run the football.
Dave Wanstead said, because we had a commitment to it and repeated it so much, we finally were able to do what they've been trying to do in Miami for years, and that's establish some kind of a running game. Smith again. Still on his feet inside the 30.
You had a missed tackle right in the hole. Number 52, Mike Peterson, who really doesn't miss many tackles, but he is in the hole, and he's the guy that has to make this play. Watch number 52 coming from your left. Look at him go up into the hole, and he doesn't make the play. But that's outstanding blocking at the line of scrimmage.
This is what impresses me. See how low he lowers his shoulder just before contact? You saw it in the highlights. You see it here. He doesn't give you anything to tackle.
Smith has already had 4 runs of 9 yards or better. That one, he'll lose yardage. Hitting the backfield will lose 2 or 3. Chad Bradsky, the former New York Giant, came in from the defensive end spot. The Dolphin offense ranked 14th this year, passing ranked only 27th. The first time since 1983 that they had a better ranking in rushing than passing. 1983, ring a bell, fellas?
Dan Marino.
Yes, you do.
Dan Marino.
They have totally changed their offensive attitude, and it's worked. Fiedler. Screen, backside, Smith. Oh, great play by Peterson. ABC's presentation of this AFC wildcard playoff from Miami, brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. MSN, everything you need to feel at home on the web, all in one place. And Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. Fiedler flags are down all over the place. They'll whistle the play dead.
That's movement on the outside. And I'll tell you, the movement on the outside didn't have to. We weren't even part of the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, 78 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Oh, what a call, though.
The call is perfect. In the draw, the quarterback draw is going to be run a little bit to the right. Richmond Webb is on the left-hand side of the play. He really is not going to be involved in it. But you see Richmond Webb right in the corner. He moves, and then look where Fiedler goes. He goes to the other side.
Dave Wanstead knows that offense is not going to have that many opportunities for big plays. They squandered that one. 3rd and 14, and that offensive unit committed a record number of penalties this season. Fiedler has to scramble. Now he throws, and it's picked off in the end zone. Chad Cota with the interception. Intended for Martin, but the ball was underthrown.
This is one of those deals. You don't have to throw the football.
No,
Joe.
he doesn't.
He does not have to throw the football.
A couple of reasons why. First of all, they're in field goal range. Olindo Mare, one of the best in football. Secondly, the wind is at his back. All right, now the patterns are broken. Tony Martin tries to go up the field, and he gets hung up. Chad Cota does a real nice job of just finding the ball while it's in the air. David Macklin fronting him. I mean, this is just a bad decision by Jay Fiedler. But in the games they've lost, we've seen him make these kind of bad decisions.
So the Colts take over at their own 20. James. Touched it back. Edger and James. Still on his feet. Getting great blocking downfield, midfield, and more. Look at him. Fight for yardage and out of bounds at the Miami 46. That's the end of the first quarter. The score, the Colts 3, the Dolphins nothing. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Colts on top of the Dolphins, 3-0. Edger and James, big run into the first quarter. Just 5 carries for 51 yards so far. Both backs doing very well. Manning a short completion. Joe, let's go back to Edger and James. What a hard run.
Well, not only that, I want to show you why it's the front 7. Here's the corner. Corner, safety, safety. If you don't get the safeties up in support, you want to run at the edges because there isn't any safety there to support in the run. Look at how far the safeties are back. Before they make contact, Edgerrin James is 15 yards downfield and then does an excellent job of making people miss on the way.
A 33-yard run. His longest of the regular season was 30. James again. And he will have the first down at the Miami 36-yard line. Derek Rogers made the tackle.
Edgerrin James, you know, Zach Thomas was telling us about him. He said the one thing about this guy, he breaks tackles. He has got such great movement. He'll go into a pile, and all of a sudden, he comes out of it, and you better tackle this guy.
Great first quarter for James and Smith. 57 and 61 yards respectively, and whopping average. Play action man. Deep down the middle, intended for Kent Dilger, his tight end, and it was overthrown. Thomas from behind and Brian Walker had a couple of steps on it.
That's one of those passes you overthrow it, because when you make your decision to throw to the tight end and you see him, the guy on the front and the guy on the back, you can't even think about trying to thread it in there.
If you do, you wind up getting it picked off. You're right.
And Dilger knew that he and Pollard were going to be prime targets today.
Well, they will against a defense that features corners up and safeties back covering half.
Second and 10, James. Little hesitation move, got him 7 yards.
This is what Zach Thomas was talking about, Joe, where he goes to a pile and there's no place to go, and when he shifts gears and he comes back, he goes back into the hole, and watch it here. He comes up into the hole. Now what? He's stopped. He's going to be stopped right here. Now he sees the hole. He cuts back into it and explodes up into the hole. They got about 1.5 yards to go.
Call it 3rd and 2. James on the toss. Fighting for the yardage, and he didn't get there. The Miami defense rises up for the stop. Darrell Gardner led the charge.
Yeah, and Sam Madison did a nice job on the corner, too, outside. The whole defense managed to get there that time.
Jason Taylor may have a lot of sacks, but he also played around. Look at Jason Taylor. Pushes up. He's the guy that gets to the outside. He does not make the tackle. He doesn't have to. He's got help. All he had to do was slow down Edgerrin James.
So on comes Vanderjack with the wind at his back. This time from 46 yards. They already hit from 32, and it's a fake. Oh, no. Hunter Smith, the punter, on the fake, and they got him. Jason Taylor didn't buy the fake. And the Colts come up empty.
We should have got points there.
Defensive end. They wanted a little flanker screen, and Bratsky in his 7th year out of Eastern Kentucky read it perfectly.
But Jay Fiedler doesn't move with speed. You can't lethargically make a fake and then turn and think you have time. Everything has to move with speed. Watch this. He turns, looks, and then sort of pats the ball and tries to make a throw. You've got to wheel and fire that thing. And what a play by Bratsky.
It's a great play by Bratsky, but also Richmond Webb is the tackle out there. He's got to take Bratsky down. He's got to go to the gut and make him bend over.
The last 2 passes by Jay Fiedler have been intercepted, and the Colts set up shop at the 25. James to the 22. The turnover battle so far being won by the Colts. The Dolphins with 2 interceptions. And in postseason play, the team committing the fewer turnovers wins 86.2% of the time. That's since 1990. Even 86% is pretty good.
86, not even with the point of the little 0-0-2 part of it.
The Dolphins cannot afford to fall too far behind the Colts. They're not a big comeback team. Manning throws incomplete, intended for Pollard. Good coverage by Robert Jones, the outside linebacker.
You know, when you talk about turnovers, you know, Joe, every single game, starting in preseason, when you talk to coaches, the very first thing they say when you say, what do you think of determining this game? Turnovers. It's the first thing they ever say.
But I attribute that interception to a great play. The one before was just a bad decision by Jay Fiedler.
Can the Colts take advantage? 3rd and 7. Manning underneath to James. 15, 10. First down, Indianapolis.
Did he set up the block for Dilger? Ken Dilger, number 85, is a tight end. And you talk about a guy that has peripheral vision and sees the entire field. Edgerrin James. He catches a pass out in the flat, and there really is no place to go downfield. Here's a pass, the fake, and Manning, his patience, gets it out. Now watch what he does. Edgerrin James, he sets up that block right there when you saw number 85. Here comes Dilger to set this up for him. Watch. Dilger, boom!
First down. First and goal, they're just inside the 10-yard line. James. Stutter Step gets him a couple.
You know, we've showed the numbers that Edgerrin James has put up, the 1,500 plus and the 500 plus. When I had a chance to visit with him yesterday, there was one thing that really has upset him, and that's the fact that in the MVP balloting, he did not get one vote. And he just feels like the kind of year that he has had, he certainly would have deserved one vote.
How could that be? I mean, that's just hard to believe.
2nd and goal. Manning rifles one incomplete. Pollard was the closest guy to it. Zach Thomas back on pass coverage with him.
Down around the goal line, when you try and run play action pass, if you don't get it to the sides real quick, to the corner areas, it's very difficult to complete because the linebackers don't have a chance to bite on the play action that Tom Moore would call. So you really want to work it to the outside more than the inside.
And somebody blew a coverage on the last play. Jerome Payton was wide open. Manning didn't see it. Manning, Payton can't hold it. Would have been a touchdown.
And this had nothing to do with coverage either. Gamble, number 42, is the guy that's in there covering. And I'm going to tell you, Pathon, this ball, you cannot throw the ball any better. Here's Pathon coming in. Gamble, 42, will pick him up coming across. And watch this. In your hands.
In your face and on the ground.
Oh, man.
Look at that one. Right off the face mask.
Now Vanderjack will come on from 26. This probably will not be a fake. You think? Vanderjack again perfect on the day. He's hit 2 of 2. And the Colts are up 6-0 over the Dolphins, courtesy of a great defensive play by Chad Bradsky. But they should have had a touchdown. Field goals leading the Dolphins second quarter. 9:33 to go in the first half. First game of the playoffs. And Danny Kite has it teed up at the 30. The kick to Autry Denson and Kevin Williams. Fifth in the NFL with a return average of 25-6. Hasn't done as well with the Dolphins, only a little bit over 21 on return. And it is windy in South Florida.
And Indianapolis is doing everything they can to keep the Miami Dolphins in this game. You don't want to let a team like that hang around. You got to score when you get the opportunity.
And they've already had 2 Jay Fiedler interceptions. And not a whole lot to show for it. Kite with the win. Little mix-up, and Denson will take it 2 yards deep and keep it. Coming up next on ABC, the NFC wildcard game. Marshall Faulk and the defending Super Bowl champions St. Louis Rams head back to the Bayou. They'll battle the NFC West champion New Orleans Saints. Our post-game analysis and read Torrey Holt's NFL Diary online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports.
You see how excited Marshall Faulk was when he found out the Rams were in? He said, okay, now it starts over again. They got their focus back.
And with the Rams and the Colts, their players are saying they let the wrong team get in. Smith only up to the 20.
With Jay Fiedler having the rotator cuff problem with his left shoulder, it's very difficult for him to use his hand to hand off. So everything has to be handed off with his right. Watch this. He comes back. See his right hand? That is an awkward, difficult handoff, and I'm surprised that Lamar Smith and he have been as efficient and proficient doing it. I mean, it's been no problem at all since he started doing it, but he just can't extend that left arm.
2nd and 9. Fiedler in rhythm, but misses McDuffie. There's Damon Hewitt, the backup. His claim to fame this year, he started 1 game at Indianapolis, and he beat the Colts. Had the winning touchdown just outside of a minute to go. He was 5-1 as a starter a year ago, but Fiedler was anointed the starter for this franchise in training camp.
Fiedler knows what it's like to get booed. You're only in the second quarter with 8 minutes and 44 seconds. He's thrown a couple of interceptions, and that was a bad pass because McDuffie was wide open and they booed him.
And the other throws he's made have not really been close to on target.
Blitz coming. They pick it up well. Fiedler throws. Touch again. Cota. The 3rd interception of the first half for the Colts defense.
And the second by Cota.
A return of 24 yards, and Dave Wanstead knows his team is in trouble.
Well, O.J. McDuffie never even looked back. He's going down the middle of the field, and he doesn't even look back. Chad Cota is right in the middle. He's just playing center field. Now here comes O.J. McDuffie. Now look, he all of a sudden he just looks at the last second. Cota makes the catch.
You see number 37. He's making a break on the ball. It's over McDuffie's head, and he makes the play. I got to believe that Dave Wanstead is going to have to change quarterbacks and not let this game get so far out of hand that they won't have a chance to win it.
Fiedler has missed his last 4 and has 3 of them intercepted. Edgerrin James changes direction, gets about a yard. We talked about turnovers during the regular season, how critical they are, and Paul said coaches start emphasizing it before camp starts. In the postseason, even more important. At +3, you have an 89% chance of winning. That's what it is right now, +3 on pick.
But I believe if the Dolphin defense can hold here and allow them an attempt at a field goal, then you have to consider Miami still in this game.
Man, a lot of time. Dilger, touchdown. Check it, Payton.
I'll tell you, that, we heard Manning in the beginning says, you got to throw the perfect pass. You have to throw the perfect pass. This is the perfect pass.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. You can't ask a corner to cover somebody all over the field. Payton is being covered by Madison. He starts up. Look at the amount of time that Sam Madison has to try and stay with Jerome Payton. And
Payton is the guy who dropped the one touchdown pass. He didn't drop that one. 3 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown for Jerome Payton. And now the Colts will go for 2.
I believe that you've got to see a quarterback change here. He's got to go to Damon Heward, the Dolphins do.
They're not warming up anybody.
Harrison comes in motion. Manning. Dilger has the 2 points. Beautifully designed play. And the Indianapolis Colts take advantage of that turnover. They have increased their lead to 14-0 in Miami. On New Year's Day, Drew Henson and the Michigan Wolverines battle the Auburn Tigers in the Capital One Citrus Bowl, live at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, right here on ABC. The Colts enjoying a 14-0 lead. 2 field goals from Mike Vanderjagt, a Peyton Manning touchdown pass to Payton, and a 2-point conversion. Tight kicking with the win. Denson from the 5. Audrey Denson with a seam across the 30 to about the 35-yard line. We were talking just moments ago, Joe mentioning the fact that he thought there ought to be a quarterback change. I would really be surprised if Dave Wannstedt does it unless Fiedler continues to play poorly because he's stuck with him through that arm injury.
I know, but he's been so inaccurate. It isn't just the fact that he's thrown the interceptions. It's the incompletions that concern me. His inaccuracy. He looks like he's struggling with the balance with his left arm. The other thing that you got to figure the Dolphins are doing, they've run the ball for 62 yards with Lamar Smith. Start feeding him again. Take the ball out of Fiedler's hands.
Smith on the toss. Go. Running hard. All right, Paul, you're the coach of the Miami Dolphins. You know your offense is sluggish at best. It's a grinded out, not a quick strike offense. What do you do?
Grind it out. But I'm going to tell you something. If you take a look at the Miami Dolphins, went 4 minutes into the game, on 4th down, they went for it. They didn't get it. They haven't really done a thing since that time. The first 3 plays they ran, they got 38 yards. The next 3 plays, -5. This team has to keep the ball on the ground and only throw when you have to.
Smith will have the first down. He's got it out to the 48-yard line. This is a Colts defense ranked 25th in the NFL against the run, but in 2 of the last 3 games, they have shored up that defense. They have played much better against the rush. They've played much better overall.
But still, Mike, I think if you're the Dolphins, the way you attack Jim Mora's football team is you run it. Because if you can get some points on the board, this game is far from out of hand. Neither of these teams has run away from one another this year in the previous matchup.
Colts show blitz. Smith tries to take it outside and does.
Jay Fiedler has had his share of struggles here in the first half, to say the least. Getting after it a little bit. Here he scrambles around, trying to make a play with his arm. Chad Cota comes up with the interception in the end zone. Then Bradsky just does a terrific job of knocking it down, and this one is overthrown to O.J. McDuffie, and Cota winds up with an interception that sets up the Colts' only touchdown so far in this game.
Miami in Colts territory for the 3rd time today. Smith about a yard shy of a first down. Peterson again and on the stop. And there is starting corner Jeff Burris, who is headed for the locker room. We'll get a report on him as soon as we can.
If you're the Dolphins and you keep running the football like they have against that Colt defense, you're going to force Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, to start to commit more people to the line of scrimmage, and then Fiedler's going to have to throw the ball like New England did a week ago.
And they got them all up there now.
Tight formation. Smith will try for that first down, and he is drilled. Cornelius Bennett came up from his linebacker spot and really popped it.
Well, you went for it on 4th and 7.
No.
Okay? What do you do now if you're Dave Wannstedt? It's a playoff game. You fight for your playoff life. You did it once. Why not do it again?
No sign of the punt team.
I don't think you're only down 14 points, and you put your defense into another hole. The way this offense can move the ball and score, I tell you what, you are really putting your team in a bad position, I think.
4th and almost 2. Fiedler wants to run for it and got it. Dwight Howell, you're really upset with himself. The former Dolphin had a shot at the quarterback and couldn't get it.
But, you know, Chan Gailey just did a smart thing for a coordinator. Your quarterback is struggling. The fans are booing him. His legs are as valuable as his arm. There's the little play action to Smith. He gets the misdirection. Now it's a nice move. Let him go try and win back a few of the fans and some of his confidence.
Yeah, but if Dwight Howell doesn't miss the tackle, he's going to get booed a lot more.
It was a one-on-one battle, and Fiedler won it. Back to Smith. Gets about 3.
Well, again, this is what we're talking to Cornelius Bennett yesterday. This is what Cornelius Bennett said. Hey, we want them to run the football. Because we're going to put the people up there, we're going to stop the run and force them to pass the football. They did it. They intercepted 3 passes. On this drive alone, the Miami Dolphins, 7 plays, 7 runs.
Bennett missed the postseason game a year ago. This is his 21st game in the postseason in his career. He passed along a lot of valuable information to this young ball club. Smith again. Stepping over bodies, and then he is popped again. Tony Blevins, number 26, a backup safety, had a free shot.
This is one of those things as a safety you dream about. Everybody sets a guy up for you, and then you come in and you just level him. They're gonna wear this guy out. Lamar Smith is gonna be worn out. Watch this. He's set up now. Here's the pop, right with the shoulder, right in the chops. Boom. Blevins, look at this. He gets around O.J. McDuffie and then makes the play.
And they could have easily called McDuffie for a hold.
Well, this is I think, where they can have McDuffie make a play for him and get a first down.
3-man rush. Aronde Gadsden, first down at the 24. That was a good throw by Fiedler.
Not Mike. It was
it got there.
It did. That's the good point. They didn't pick it off. I think that qualifies at this point as being a good pass. But you'll notice, again, this one is behind him. He's just behind with every throw.
We have reached the 2-minute warning in Miami. Dolphins driving, but they're down 14-0. Time for the Lexus halftime show. We'll go to Times Square Studios when we are done here. We're at the 2-minute warning in Miami, where the Dolphins have reached Colts territory for the 3rd time today. They still have a goose egg on the scoreboard. It will be 1st and 10 from the Indianapolis 24-yard line.
Now, this is where Jay Fiedler has got to be smart for Dave Wannstedt. He had him down there before on a good drive, wound up throwing the interception, trying to make a play. He's just got to settle in and not try and do it all by himself.
5 wide receiver set with Conrad, the fullback, out there as one of them. Fiedler underneath. Gadsden to pick up 4. Mustafa Muhammad made the stop. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining.
And this is where an offense has a chance to protect the clock a little bit. So often you see people manage the clock and hurry up. This is where the Dolphins, with all their timeouts, give Chan Gailey an opportunity to take the clock down. Don't give the ball back to Peyton Manning. You almost take the mode of not scoring too quickly.
And Gaston is not on the field. He threw a shoe, had to come to the sideline. Lamar Smith lowers his head, stops at the line of scrimmage. That Colts defense being stingy right now. Bratsky and Williams on the stop.
The surprising part about it is they're letting the clock run down. I just have, after going for it on 4th down, I hope they're not sitting here looking at a field goal.
Well, I'm sure they don't want that, but they do have plenty of time with all those timeouts.
And the timeouts are really not a concern at this point. They'll have plenty of time to run a lot more plays if they can get a 1st down here.
Facing a 3rd and 6. Fiedler with a lot of time, goes to the end zone. McDuffie. Peterson was right in front of him the second time that Mike Peterson has been downfield with excellent coverage.
And when you talk to this team about their defense, and the guy that always pops up is Mike Peterson, number 52, as a linebacker. Now here he has coverage on O.J. McDuffie, number 52. Watch this. He's downfield. He sees the ball. Watch him turn to the ball and up in the air and get his hands up. Defensive backs can't play that any better.
Well, you're talking about trying to force a ball into a tight spot.
And what a mismatch that is with a linebacker on McDuffie. Mate, second best in NFL history in his kicking percentage. He missed 2 a week ago before the game winner, and he misses this one. The Colts still throwing a shutout at Miami. To have picks in the playoffs. And the Colts, with 1 touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and 2 field goals, lead it 14-0 as we're ready to start the second half. Danny Kite to kick to Denson and Kevin Williams. Williams has had 1 kickoff return this year, 97 yards for a touchdown. Tight into the win. Williams moves up to the 13. And taken down to the 30. It was a real struggle for Jay Fiedler in the first half. Since '95, he's the only one to throw 3 picks in the first half. Scott Williams, the last to do it.
Yeah, a couple of them decisions. This is the decision in the first quarter. Chad Cota picks it off. He tries to make a play on the run. Bradsky knocks it up in the air and picks it off. Tries to force it down the middle to O.J. McDuffie, and Cota winds up with this one in his hand.
Cota with 2 interceptions and 6 tackles in the first half. Fiedler starts the 3rd quarter. Miami begins at its own 30, and Fiedler to throw on 1st down. Picks up 4 and gets out of bounds. The first half stats, the biggest one of all, the 3 turnovers. The Colts, only with 143 yards in total offense, just 16 more than the Dolphins, as Miami rushed for 90 first half yards.
They only had to go an average of 27 yards on their 3 scoring drives, so obviously, you know, they haven't really had much field to try and move the ball on.
Look at those 3rd down conversions. 1 for 6 for the Colts, 1 out of 7 for the Miami Dolphins. That is not good.
Smith cuts it outside. 1st down and more. Lamar Smith into Colts territory to the 42.
I know that Cornelius Bennett has a bad right hand because he had a cast on it when he came in to see us yesterday. But he's a linebacker that's been around a long time. And one of the things you do not do is at the end of the line, you don't wait on a player. You go attack him. Watch him sit and wait. Now, Smith gets out to the outside, just knocks him down with 1 arm. There's nobody out there now. He's got to block Tony Martin. Number 80 gets a block, and down the field they go. Just run the football.
That was a 24-yard scamper by Smith. He has 111 yards on the day already. Fiedler play action. Screen. Johnson. Cut down from behind as he got to the 35. Bratsky, nice job of chasing the play.
Bransky showed a little bit of speed because he was on his way to the quarterback. Red screen, got back into the play. He's limping a little bit and ends up making the tackle. That's just hustle. Here comes Bransky. He is number 92. Watch that. He reads screen right now, gets into the flow, and he makes a dive and makes the tackle.
And he came up limping after Mark Dixon fell on him. Bransky from the Giants. Back to Smith on the ground inside the 30.
Those two guys in the middle, actually the three, Mark Dixon, the left guard, Tim Ruddy, the center, and Kevin Donnelly, the right guard, are doing a very nice job on the interior of that Colt defense. Lamar Smith has gained a lot of yards, and a lot of them right up the gut.
Well, Alice Johnson told us yesterday, we asked him about this offensive line. Why can they block so well now and running the ball as well? He said they are very good as a unit.
And he said those interior three guys have the best combination blocks of anybody in the league. Smith again. Great cut by Lamar Smith. David Macklin, the rookie out of Penn State, had him dead to rights, and he just left him in his tracks.
But also, you didn't see that niftiness that you saw in Lamar Smith. I think he's tired. You either spot him right now, or you run a play-action pass to give him an opportunity to catch his breath just a little bit. You keep handing him the ball, he's going to get tired. It's going to go on the ground.
You don't get tired when you make over $1 million a year, Joe.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. You're not allowed to.
So that's a difference.
Just keep giving him the ball.
2nd and 5 for the Dolphins on a critical drive for them. Fake the end around, give it to Smith, and Smith put on his back. That's a 22.
Well, now you know the game plan. Since Fiedler's last pick, his last interception, 13 runs, 4 passes.
We talked about the combo block, Mike. You see Kevin Donnelly and Ruddy, the center and the right guard. What they do is they block down on Josh Williams and then come off on Dwight Hollier, the middle linebacker.
3rd and 3. 4 wide receivers set. Autry Denson is the setback. Colts come with a blitz. Fiedler, nice adjustment to Denson. Autry Denson inside the 15. Great awareness by Fiedler under pressure.
That was a good decision. And it's really been, his inaccuracy has contributed to it, but the decision process has got him more of a problem than anything. Little play action, they come up the middle from the ump can, you get to see it. Not a very good block by Denson. Hey, if you don't block somebody, that means that means you're going to be wide open in the spaces, so you better catch it. You're right.
1st and 10, Miami from the 14. They're down 14-0 to the Colts. Fiedler, a lot of room. Fiedler to the 6. Well, the entire defense fought that fake.
Well, when you're handing off with your right hand, you have the ability to hide it from the defense going this way. Watch this. He's going to right. He hides the ball completely, never exposes it. Now he has to tuck it in his right arm a little bit. Tony Martin's trying to block for him on Muhammad.
Jay Fiedler, 267 rushing yards this year. Dan Marino, in his career, 87 rushing yards.
Yeah, but those were hard yards.
And they were early in his career, too.
Smith. Cut down as he went inside the 5. They'll mark it. It's a 2. That will be a 1st and goal, Dolphins. This is an impressive drive when they had to have it.
And they did it basically by running the football.
You talk about the lineman block, and Mark Dixon, number 63. He is the guy that's going to get a block. Watch him pull, and then up into the hole, and he gets a block on Cota, number 37, right at the point of attack. You'll see it right now. There's a block. There's the hole. And also Conrad's got a nice block, number 44.
2 fullbacks in front of Smith. Lamar Smith. Nice stop by Macklin, and then he got help.
This is not defensively. Larry Chester, number 64, is the biggest guy really on this defensive line at 310. Both the tackles are about 285, Williams and Johnson. Both the ends are 275, Scioli and Bratsky. So they're really not that big up front.
This will be the 11th play of a drive that's taken almost 7 minutes off the clock. Tight set. Smith. Touchdown.
They just run over the left side. Richmond Webb is over there. Mark Dixon, number 63, is over there. 78 is Richmond Webb. Look at the blocking. Webb just takes Bratsky out. They block inside. Hunter Goodwin is the tight end, and he is a huge tight end. And look at the hole.
Mate for the point after. And the Dolphins have cut the lead in half. Lamar Smith with his first score of the postseason. He has 129 yards rushing. Joe, you said at the start of this drive they needed to feed the ball to Lamar Smith. He got it 9 of 11 times. The drive went 70 yards and 6:51 to cut the lead to 14-7. That is the Dolphins' nature. It has been under Dave Wannstedt. This is what they do, and they did it well on that drive.
How about the last two drives? 19 runs, 4 passes, and over 14 minutes of possession.
Wilkins is the deep man. Line drive kick will go into the end zone. Wilkins will take a knee. The Colts will start from the 20. Playoff action from Miami. 14-7 Colts. That's provided by the Budweiser.com airship high above Pro Player Stadium for today's AFC Wild Card Playoff. The crowd back in it because the Dolphins are back in it. Manning. Underneath to James. Picks up about 7.
One encouraging thing for the Miami fans are out there, the Miami Dolphins have not allowed a touchdown in the third quarter this entire year. They've given up only 9 points, and that hasn't been done since 1939 when the Giants did it in an 11-game season. But can you imagine? And 3 of the points were gotten by the Colts in the last game they played. So they've given up 3 field goals in the third quarter this year.
2nd and 2 for the Colts. Manning again talking to his line. James hitting the backfield. Fights forward. That's how good Edgerrin James is.
Zach Thomas is so upset with himself, Joe, because he knows he had him in the backfield. And he told us yesterday, he said, hey, this guy, the one thing you got to do is put him on the ground because he can break tackles. Look at Zach Thomas. He is really going to be upset with himself. Boom. He slides inside. He's got a shot. He actually tackled his own man. He doesn't get Edgerrin James.
So often we look at guys rip off 60 and 70-yard runs and think that's terrific. That was a terrific individual effort and run.
Edgerrin James is a magnificent running back. Miami may have been offsides, and James is buried in the backfield. Derek Rogers came off the corner, but there's a marker down. He may have started early.
You may be quick.
Offside defense, 59. 5-yard penalty.
But you're not that quick.
First down.
You can always get in the backfield and blow up a play when you're there before everyone else. Number 59 off the edge. They try and bring the tight end across to block him, but he's so quickly upfield and in the backfield, he almost took the handoff.
So 1st and 5 for the Colts. Going against the wind. They will have the wind in the 4th quarter. The Dolphins penalized 4 times today. The Colts, not at all. Dilger, the tight end, to the 43. That will be a first down for Indianapolis. On New Year's Day, Drew Henson and the Michigan Wolverines battle the Auburn Tigers in the Capital One Citrus Bowl. It's live at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, right here on ABC. Colts at their 44. 5 minutes, 40 seconds, and counting, third quarter. Intended for Harrison, incomplete.
You really have to pick your spots when you go after Peyton Manning. Talking to Jim Bates yesterday, he said, you can't line up and show him things right away, because what he'll do is he'll just throw the ball hot like he did that time as Derek Rogers tried to come around the corner on him. You've got to show the blitzes late, and you've got to make your guys go after him without hesitation.
And his defense has done a great job against Marvin Harrison. 102 catches in the regular season. He has 1 catch today for 4 yards. Manning, Gilger underneath. Lost his footing and went down. They'll mark it at the Miami 49-yard line. Manning is such a bright guy. He studies so much film. He sees the rush coming. He's been sacked once every 31 dropbacks. That is the best rate, second best rate since 1970. Who held it? Dan Marino. Who did see a blitz in his sleep. And there is the statue outside of Pro Player Stadium of one of the greatest men who ever laced it up.
You can't make that statue big enough for that guy.
Manning, Harrison dropped it. Right at the sticks. Jerry Wilson was there, but that's a catch that the Pro Bowler should have made.
You know, Manning is waiting on Marvin Harrison to get open. Here goes Marvin Harrison. Watch, a little fake. He's got the first down marker, and all he has to do is catch the ball. A little bit behind for him doesn't make any difference. He should catch it.
Hunter Smith on for only the 3rd time today. The kick to Jeff Ogden into the win. Ogden waits at his 10. Smith booms another one. The wind will hold it up, and it's right at the goal line. Was he in or not? Very, very close. Billy Austin down just in front of the goal line, and he didn't save it.
You know, if he just stops and puts his hand on it, it's going to be down. Instead, he jumps on it, and I believe his head will wind up touching into the end zone.
Austin nearly pinned him at the 6-inch line. ABC Sports is the home of the Bowl Championship Series, and on Wednesday night, undefeated and #1 ranked Oklahoma will battle Heisman winner Chris Winkie and the 2nd-ranked Florida State Seminoles for college football's national championship in the FedEx Orange Bowl. It's January 3rd, live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Fiedler and Miami start from the 20, the same way they finished the last drive. Lamar Smith for 3. Miami has 2 touchdown drives this year of 80 yards or more. That's tied for the fewest in the entire league. And they need to go 80 yards on this possession.
Well, they don't have big plays as a part of this offense. I think they've got to try and take a shot down the field somewhere. Give Tony Martin a chance to make a play.
Fiedler with time, and now it runs out. Jason Belcher on a safety blitz.
Yeah, Ellis Johnson, number 62, is the guy that gets in there first. And Ellis Johnson, we looked at him yesterday talking to him. He really doesn't look that big. He's 6'2", 288. Watch him, number 62, Ellis Johnson. Boom, back to the inside, and he's there, along with Belcher.
See, now, to me, that's a quarterback sack. Get rid of the football. You call the quick one, there's nowhere to go. Jay Fiedler is not managing the game as well as he could.
3rd and 11 after the sack. Little toss to Denson. Autry Denson fighting for yardage, needed to get to the 30, and he didn't make it. Now, a lot of people here will be upset with that call on 3rd and 11, but this is a conservative offense by nature.
It is, but that play picked up 10 yards. That was an excellent play. If he breaks one more tackle, that's all he really asked him to do. and he picked up the first down. They only missed it by a yard.
Well, you remember, Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator, has to call the game to the strength of this team, and that is the defense. So you don't take unnecessary risks and chances.
Turk, who got off a 51-yarder, his first punt, will punt with the wind. That's short. Not a good kick this time, and it takes a bounce for the Colts out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A punt of only 34 yards for Matt Turk. 14-7 Colts. Miami, where it's a little chilly. Not even going to break the low 60s today. Edger and James, 3 yards to the 40. And Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL, an official airline of the Super Bowl. Manning steps up and throws incomplete. Had Harrison open at the Miami 45.
Jason Taylor came off the corner, and he forced Manning to step up inside. They're trying to block Jason Taylor with the tight end, Ken Dilger. Look at this. He outruns him. But look at Manning. Steps up. He should have completed his pass.
Well, and see, you don't have to get to Peyton Manning. You just have to make him feel uncomfortable in the pocket, and he will throw the ball inaccurately. He is not superhuman. He's pretty close.
And he's only hit 10 out of 21 passes today for 100 yards. Manning hits this one. It will be a first down. Harrison with his second catch of the afternoon. Trent Gamble, the rookie, was there, but Manning fit that one in nicely.
Marvin Harrison working the middle of the field. You don't want to try and go out against those corners. There he makes his turn, goes down, and catches the ball. Terrific hands. You know, and I like a quarterback that throws the ball low in the middle of the field. Not quite that low, but you want to keep the ball down.
1:23 and counting, third quarter. Edger and James. Nice stiff arm. Then knocked out of bounds.
When you take a look at the way Peyton Manning has tried to attack this Miami defense, you see that there is patience here. Look at underneath. He's tried to take it up on the corners, okay, away from the safeties. And then there's the patience that he has shown underneath. 14 pass attempts underneath, of which he's completed 8. And he has stayed away from Madison and Surtain.
Good idea.
Well, they don't play as much man as they used to in this philosophy. They're up close and pressing.
Manning tipped it incomplete off the hands of Robert Jones. Had the shot at a pick.
Oh, Robert Jones, if you turn, if you get your hands on the ball, he really had a great opportunity to make the interception. Robert Jones is number 52. He's covering Pollard, the tight end. Watch this. What? This perfect play. Look inside. There it is. The ball is there. Grab it.
If he could catch, he wouldn't have been a linebacker, right?
He'd been a tight end.
He'd been a tight end.
3rd and 11. Manning under pressure, incomplete. Harrison wants a flag. He was covered by Gamble. There was contact, no penalty.
That time, Peyton Manning got some pressure on him. He's basically been standing up, throwing the football. This time, Darrell Gardner, one of the big guys in the middle, who's really made this defense tick, puts pressure on him. Here comes a big guy up. Peyton has to let this one go and really can't follow through to get the ball down the field to Marvin Harrison.
Smith will punt to Ogden again. For the most part, though, that Colts offensive line has done a great job against 2 of the premier sackers in the game. Got close on this one. Ogden on the run. Takes you back to the 28-yard line. An 11-yard return after a punt of only 32. Time running out, third quarter. Time running out on the Dolphins, down by a touchdown. With a 7-point lead over his counterpart Dave Wannstedt. First game of the playoffs in the year 2000. The journey to the Super Bowl starts today in Miami. Fiedler in rhythm. McDuffie with a catch up at the 40. Mike Peterson on the tackle.
Now, since Jay Fiedler threw 3 picks and 4 passes, he's 6 for 7 and come out a lot better in the third quarter.
He led them from behind last week in a must-win situation at New England. At the end of the third quarter, the score, Colts 14, Dolphins 7. We'll be back after this from our ABC station. The Dolphins actually with more total yards than the Colts. They are dominating the time of possession, but the 3 turnovers have put them in a major hole as we start the fourth quarter. They're down 14-7. Smith hit in the backfield. He'll lose a yard. Let's check in with Chris Berman. Boomer? And Boomer, he has an ACC history. He was the head coach of Wake Forest for quite a while. Now going back to replace George Welch, who totally rebuilt that program. Smith just tripped up, got to the 43. That means the Jets have had 3 head coaches in a calendar year. If you just joined us, the Colts got off to a quick start courtesy of a Fiedler interception. He tried to force one deep down the middle, had one batted up and picked by Bratzke, and then Cota with his second pick of the day. Pathan with the only touchdown. Vanderjagt kicked a couple of field goals, and then with a good drive, Miami comes back. Smith caps off the drive with a touchdown run.
And how important is that 2-point play?
That's huge.
You bet it is.
Yeah, now you put, now you're going to put the ball in the hands of Jay Fiedler again. Smith has carried him through the third quarter. Now it's up to Jay to be smart with the football.
Autry Denson, the third down back, is in on 3rd and 7. Fiedler trying to scramble, needs to get to the 50. He's got the first down and slides in safe at the 46.
That's the difference between Jay Fiedler and Damon Heward. Heward may be healthy. He may be one who can throw the football a little bit more. But the one thing that Jay Fiedler brings to this offense is his ability to make plays with his legs. He does give the pass a chance. Now he does a nice job of reading as Cota tries to go into coverage. Bratzke can't catch him, or Muhammad. He picks up the first down.
And with that bad shoulder, he makes the smart decision not to take the contact. Smith on the toss behind Conrad. Lamar Smith! At the 26-yard line, Jeff Burris made a saving tackle.
This guy will wear you down. We got Mike Peterson as a linebacker, and I think he is down back at the 45. But Richmond Webb, number 78, on Chad Bratzke, number 92. Here's the block. Watch this. He takes him to the outside and allows Lamar Smith to make the cut back to the inside. That's power, folks.
Well, you just can't bring him down. I mean, there's nothing to hit but shoulders and thighs.
And Lamar Smith just broke Larry Csonka's all-time playoff rushing record of 145 yards. Did it in the Super Bowl. Smith with 155. And Ellis Johnson is the injured Indianapolis player. Johnson has been troubled with knee problems all year long. The Dolphins driving to tie it up. You have to give Dave Wanstad a tip of the cap. He knows his football team. He knows their strengths and weaknesses. Jay Fiedler has 3 first-half interceptions. He goes back to what he does best, run the football and play defense.
And I know there were a lot of fans here, in fact, even Joe said, let's pull Fiedler and let's get somebody else in the game. But Wanstad had enough experience to stay with him.
And around to Martin. Tony Martin to the 20.
I still feel like the way Fiedler played in the first half, if he had come out and struggled early in the second half, Dave might have had to make the change. But the other thing is, by going back to Lamar Smith, you control the tempo. The big thing is you're not allowing Peyton Manning on the field very much, and I think that's a big key. They play to their strength, run the football, play great defense. That way you control the tempo of the game.
Well, we talked about 3 guys in this game, the triplets for Indianapolis, and their defense has shut them down.
Smith met at the line on 2nd and 3, gained maybe a yard. And, you know, Dave Wanstead deserves a lot of credit for the regular season as well, because nobody picked the Miami Dolphins to win the tough AFC East. I mean, absolutely nobody, as he took over for Jimmy Johnson.
And he makes an interesting point. When you talk about Tennessee and Baltimore, they play in the same division with Cleveland and Cincinnati that have had struggles. But in the AFC East, nobody feels like anyone there is a weak system.
Not even New England with that poor record, because Bledsoe can burn it. 3rd and a long 2. Smith. Not even close, and the Colts rose up that time.
Dwight Hollier, number 56. This is the way a middle linebacker is supposed to fill a hole. You make your decision, you see the daylight, and you get there before the running back can get through. Watch number 56 in the middle, coming off the right side. Sees Lamar Smith, and there's the pop. They make the big hit. Number 56 comes up. Number 52, Peterson, and put him on the ground.
Hollier, originally a 4th-round draft choice by the Dolphins. Mare, who missed from 38 yards, will try this one from 38, the same spot. And he got that one. Olindo Mare cuts the lead to 4. Sports, Washington and Purdue in the Rose Bowl, presented by AT&T. Then at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, Oregon State against Notre Dame in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Right here on ABC, the home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Notre Dame, huh?
Go Irish.
They're not playing Navy?
Hey, Bob Davies did a fabulous job there.
You never miss a shot.
Great job. No, he really doesn't, you know. I don't care. I don't care.
Hats off to Don Nehlen at West Virginia. Wins his final bowl game.
Now
the only time they won a bowl game.
We've covered both our alma maters. How did Citadel do?
Oh, they lost in basketball.
Good. Well, this game has gone pretty much the way both coaches expected it to do. When you talk to Jim Mora, you talk to Dave Wanstead, neither coach felt like this team was going to get away. It was going to be a 60-minute football game. It's the way the 2 previous meetings have gone this year.
Did they talk about turnovers? First thing they both said, turnovers.
The Dolphins trying to come back from those 3 first-half interceptions. Wilson has the seam. Gets it out to the 23. The Indianapolis Colts had the leading passer, the leading rusher, and the leading receiver in the National Football League coming into this game. They have been controlled beautifully by that Miami defense.
Well, the guy in the middle, Edrin James, has been doing some things, and maybe they ought to get the ball back in his hands a little bit more.
Well, in the previous 2 meetings, I mean, in November, Harrison only caught 4, and in December, just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, he only caught 6.
But James has a pair of 100-yard games against that Miami defense. James, very patient, but only gets a couple up to the 25.
I think the difference in this Dolphin defense has really been the play of the guys up front. We saw Daryl Gardner put pressure on Peyton Manning. That time, Tim Bowens forces Edrin James to go much wider than he wanted to. The 2 big tackles are starting to take over the line of scrimmage.
Peyton Manning ought to be thinking maybe a little bit about going downfield, Joe, because they do have the wind in the 4th quarter, and that, I think, is going to really make the difference.
And I think you look for the tight ends. They're the ones that you want in the matchup on the linebacker. Play action by Manning. Pollard, tight end screen.
And the big guy roars out to the 38. What a load he is from a tight end spot.
You know why they make these things work so well? When they run play action, they run a screen. It's because of their offensive line that fires out.
I'm going to show you, Paul. What happens is you get the linebackers flowing this way. Manning runs this way. When Pollard sets, there's nobody over there. Look at the linebackers flow. Zach Thomas has to respect it. Robert Jones has to respect the run.
Excellent protection. Harrison got it.
And there's a flag on the play.
Down. A bobbling catch as he beats Surtain. Surtain applauding. It's offensive interference.
First of all, how good a catch was this?
Pass interference. Offense. Number 88. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
You know, Joe, this is the thing I was talking about. They're smart enough to know they've got the win, and what does Manning do? He goes down the field to Marvin Harrison. Now, they're both pushing each other.
Now, you can see the left hand of Marvin Harrison. Watch this right there. See, if they're pushing one another and there isn't separation created, then you'd say, okay, it's mutual. But because he got an advantage with the push, that's why I believe they called it.
The 49-yard penalty and the first flag against the Colts in the entire game. Manning dumps it. Payton. A lot of room over the middle. Payton up to the 46. Only 2 yards shy of a first down.
Payton. That was Payton with patience.
The poet laureate.
Go ahead,
Paul. The booth.
Well, I'll tell you, it just takes patience. He looks around. Here comes Payton, number 86, across the middle. Well, it also helps when the defensive back falls down.
Yeah, when Jerry Wilson falls to the ground and you're running scot-free, it makes life just a little bit easier in the middle of the field.
2nd and 2. James. Just crossing that goal line, should be a first down. Time becoming a factor, 7:40 and counting, especially since Miami needs time for one of those drives on the ground.
Well, when you looked at this game, Miami had 2 possessions in the third quarter because that's the type of an offense they are. They're going to eat the clock up. The Colts haven't had a chance to be on the field that much, but with Edgerrin James, you got to figure they're going to be a patient one.
Didn't look like they got a very good mark out of this one.
Yeah, they got enough. Just enough.
It will be a new set of downs for Jim Moore, trying to win his first playoff game in the initial playoff game of the 2000 postseason. The Colts at Miami. They're playing for the 3rd time in 35 days. That nobody is fooling anybody. It's just execution and who wants it the most. James. Nice cutback and great blocking. Edgerrin James to the Miami 37.
Again, what does it is Miami believes that their front 7 can play against anybody. You've got to give credit to that Indianapolis offensive line. The corners are up again. See, the corners are up. The safeties are back. Tarek Glenn on the left side. Marcus Pollard, the tight end on the left side, just springs it out. There's Glenn and Pollard. Look at the 2 of them work together. James, with, as you talked about, Paul, great patience to be able to string it out and then cut it up.
98 yards rushing for Edgerrin James. Half a yard at best on that one. Robert Jones up from the linebacker spot.
You just mentioned Tarek Glenn as the left tackle, number 78 for the Colts. We talked to him, and you asked him about blocking for Edgerrin James. He said one thing: cover up. Cover up the guy in front of you so that the guy in front of you cannot see Edgerrin James. If you can't see him, you can't tackle him.
And if he can't see the color, he won't run someplace else.
Exactly. And Glenn can cover up about anybody. 6'5", 335. They'll give him the 32-yard line. Brock Marion, the Pro Bowler, with the stop.
You know, sometimes you have to just let people know you're going to blitz them and make them throw the ball. We talked about Jim Bates wanting to try and not commit too soon to go after Peyton Manning, plus he's so good at recognizing the blitz. That time he came with Joe Wilson off the corner and said, okay, let's make them throw the football. Our guys have to tackle.
Manning calling an audible. Blitz coming. Manning goes deep. Incomplete. At the goal line was Harrison with Surtain.
Well, that's some gutsy defensive coordinatorship right there. 2 in a row they go after Manning. They figure Manning is good, but his guys can get there. Outside, Patrick Surtain again. The ball's up, but Manning just doesn't get enough time to make the throw accurately enough.
And here is Mike Vanderjagt. Money in the bank, is that what you call him?
He is money, but this will be from 50 yards. He's hit 2. Vanderjagt. He has hit all 3, including that 50-yarder. The lead is back to 7. It was almost more. Harrison just missed it. The Dolphins preparing to get the ball back. They are down by 7 points with 4:55 left to go in regulation. Danny Kite. Denson driven 7 yards deep, and he'll keep it there. Timeout on the field, only 4:47 to go. Torrey holds NFL Diary online at ESPN.com, keyword ABC Sports. Miami 80 yards away from a tying touchdown. Smith will get 7. The Mike Vanderjagt field goal of 50 yards, the longest in Colts postseason history. Joe, where did he play at college?
I believe it was West Virginia.
That's correct. All right, what do you do here? Same thing?
First of all, obviously, you go for every 4th down if you get it. I think you continue to run the football. 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Plenty of time to run your offense still.
Smith stopped shy of the first down. Dwight Collier, the former Dolphin, who's had a couple of wicked hits in this game.
Well, he looked at some film and he knows how to fill a hole. I'm going to tell you, here's the next Dolphin, Dwight Hillier, and watch this. When he fills a hole, watch how fast this thing closes. Bam! Down.
Well, he just throws Rob Conrad to the side.
Fiedler with a quarterback keeper will get the first down.
All right, he's got his 3 timeouts left. He also has the 2-minute warning, so there really isn't any hurry. I believe if you're the Colts, though, is you start putting people at the line of scrimmage and take Lamar Smith out of this offense. Jay Fiedler has yet to prove he can throw the ball upfield with much accuracy. Make him try and do it.
5 wide receivers, no backs. Fiedler looked out from behind and nearly picked off right into the chest of Brad Scioli. Couldn't hold it.
Boy, Cornelius Bennett just took a run at Fiedler, and he never saw him coming. He just gets the ball away, and Scioli almost makes the interception. Scioli is number 99. He's the left defensive end, and here comes Cornelius Bennett, number 97. Watch. Ball goes bang. That's good.
But that he knows he's got the hot over there. The receiver runs it. He tries to get it off.
2nd and 10. Back to the I formation. To the sideline, and just shy of the first down, Gadsden taken down at the 41. The clock did not stop because his progress was stopped inbounds by Mustafa Muhammad.
Watch how close Brad Scioli comes to picking this off. Looking out to the right, Fiedler just fires this thing and hits Scioli right in the chest. Now, Mike Peterson and Brad Scioli, Peterson a 2nd-round pick, Scioli a 5th-round pick a couple years ago, Those were the guys that the Colts got in the Marshall Faulk trade.
They are burning so much time by huddling up. I'm surprised they don't go to a hurry up, even if they run it.
Nah, they're okay. They have plenty of timeouts left.
Have to get the first down to keep the drive alive, and Smith does that up to the 44.
Now I would have taken a timeout. I would have used one of my timeouts now.
They're going to go down to the 2-minute warning.
See, I would have used the timeout at 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Well, they have used an awful lot of time gaining 24 yards on this drive. They still have 56 yards to go to tie.
But they have 18 seconds.
The crowd doesn't like the decision either. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Colts by 7 over the Dolphins. Jim Mora is 2 minutes away from winning the first playoff game in his career. He is 0-5, 4 as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, 1 with Indianapolis. Dave Wannstedt wants to deny him the pleasure.
And Jay Fiedler's got to get him in and out of the huddle with a little bit more speed than he did over those 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Fiedler to throw underneath Martin. He'll pick up 9 into Indianapolis territory.
I just don't like when a quarterback always has to look at the sidelines to try and figure out what's going on. There comes a point in the game where you have to take charge of it.
Quarterback keeper. Fiedler still on his feet. Running with a torn rotator cuff in his left shoulder.
You're down to 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Still 3 timeouts.
Still plenty of timeouts, but you're going to have to get into a position where you can make some throws up the field so you can make some throws in the end zone.
I can't believe they're going to a huddle. This is just eating up the clock.
I don't like the way they're managing the end of this football game at all.
Fiedler has this one batted away. The clock will stop at the 1:05 mark. Mark Thomas, the former Chicago Bear, knocked it away.
You know what happens when you let the clock run, like they've let it run down now 1:05. They let 18 seconds go off, Joe, before the 2-minute warning. You take Lamar Smith out of the game.
Well, he's out anyway.
Well, wait a minute. But you have 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the game and 3 timeouts. This guy's still a valuable part of the game.
But
now he's not.
In the last 4 minutes, they weren't going to run the football at all, Paul. They were going to put it in the air. One and saving time.
Flags are down. There was movement on the Dolphin offense. This will cost them 5.
Prior to the snap, both start. 80, offense. 5-yard penalty. It still remains second down.
That's Tony Martin, the wide receiver. Keep in mind, this drive started at the 20-yard line with 4 minutes and 55 seconds to go on the clock. They have used 3 minutes and 50 seconds just to get to the Colts 41.
They'll have 3 timeouts here. I don't believe you need to try and pick up the first down. You've got to get it to about a 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 6, then stop the clock, then pick up the first down and take your shots to the end zone.
2nd and 15. Fiedler with time. Throws complete.
Now use your timeout.
McDuffie at the 22. A gain of 19 yards. The Dolphins call their first timeout. 56 seconds left. To such a horrible start in this ball game. Has played very well in the second half, trying to bring his team back.
But he got some excellent blocking, I'm telling you, in that backfield. Autry Denson, look to the left, 21 on Macklin, number 27. Just an outstanding block.
I think you've entered Oronde Gadsden territory for the Dolphins down here. He's bigger than all the corners that the Colts have.
Gadsden to the near side. Fiedler goes the other way. McDuffie. Oh, McDuffie to the 10.
We talked about in this game both defenses and offenses knowing one another, and it would be up to individuals to make great plays in key moments. Watch this catch. This is something special. Look at that catch. And then he has the presence to turn it upfield.
And what a great throw.
Oh.
McDuffie, 3 catches, 44 yards, all in this half. They have missed him sorely this year. He's missed a lot of action with a bad big toe.
I'm looking for Gadsden down here.
Fiedler knocked down at the line of scrimmage. 45 seconds to go. Bernard Whittington, the guy who got the hand up.
Bernard Whittington is number 95, and you're trying. If you can't get to the passer, get your hand up. Look at Bernard Whittington. He goes up in the air. That ball is awfully low. He really didn't have to jump very far. All he had to do was get his arm up.
A couple of options down here for Chan Gailey. One, spread him out, possibly quarterback draw. Again, you got Lamar Smith. You can now bring Lamar Smith in the game because you've got 2 timeouts.
13th play of the drive. 2nd and goal. Fiedler underneath. There was contact before the ball got there. Hollier appeared to tackle O.J. McDuffie.
Hollier's looking around. He's not saying anything. Everybody's looking at it. O.J. McDuffie, number 81, is coming across the field. Hollier is 56. He goes down, and O.J. just trips over top of him. It's okay.
For Hollier, it's correct. No harm, no foul. 3rd and goal. Fiedler to the goal line. Touchdown, Weaver. Jed Weaver with his first catch of the day. He had 5 a week ago, which matched his entire season total of 5. And now Mate to tie it up with 34 seconds left in the game. We're tied at 21.
Jed Weaver with 10 catches coming in. Their tight ends only have 16. What he's going to do is he's going to work and pivot out on burst and then come back in the middle as the guys clear it out inside. Little pivot route, work him outside, then pivot on back. Good target, nice throw by Jay Fiedler. He just has to get knocked around for about 2 quarters until he gets that shoulder feeling just right, and then he starts to throw the ball very accurately.
He was magnificent on that drive.
Yeah, big plays by O.J. McDuffie, who just now has started to become a part of this offense again.
And now what you have is the Colts going with the win. Only 34 seconds left. They have all of their timeouts. But Vanderjagt, the best kicker in the game, could kick with the win. You talked to him before the game started.
When I talked to him on the field, he said going in this direction, the way the Colts will be going with the ball, Mike said that he felt if he had to, with the win, he could kick it 60, 65 yards. And this is a strong enough wind, I believe, to carry it.
And you got the Colts, 3 timeouts, and Manning.
And 34 seconds. Coaches don't normally give you 34 seconds in practice to get in the field goal range. They give you 45 or so.
They'll have to do it against a terrific Dolphin defense that has been brilliant all year long.
Take a look at this. A number of plays midway through the second quarter. From then on, Miami 50 plays, Indy 22.
They have really come on when they had to. Mate kicking into the wind. Wilkins at the 3. Buried at the 20. Only 28 seconds left. ABC's presentation of this AFC wildcard playoff from Miami, brought to you by Dodge and nearly 3,000 dealers who invite you to come see what's different. Nortel Networks, we're building the new high-performance internet. And by McDonald's, we love to see you smile. You're watching this game, you're smiling at home.
2 of the leading sackers in the National Football League have not even been mentioned in this ball game today. And they're in the game right now. Trace Armstrong and Jason Taylor. There's Jason Taylor.
James hit by Taylor. He'll get a couple. And it looks like the Colts don't want to mess around deep in their own end. And they're going to play for overtime.
Yep, they figure they get the ball back, get it into a normal game situation. They've been able to score and get opportunities to get Vanderjagt. The key, I think, in overtime will be which way and who has the wind. I think that's going to be a big factor.
And certainly Miami will have the momentum going into overtime. The end of regulation. 17-17, Colts and the Dolphins.
And we'll another 15-minute quarter.
Heads is the call. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. It is a tail.
Miami's got the ball.
We'll go to overtime with the Colts and the Dolphins tied at 17 from Pro Players Stadium in Miami. Dave Wannstedt saw his club come from behind on the arm of Jay Fiedler, who got it done in the last minute. And Jim Morris saw his chances of winning a playoff game at least postponed.
And both coaches said that turnovers would be the big key in this game. We felt that. The Dolphins have overcome those 3 interceptions, and Peyton Manning basically has been silent through most of this football game.
The Dolphins have won the toss. The Colts chose the wind. And Danny Kite will kick to Kevin Williams. He's back there with Autry Denson. That's Denson. The clock shows 15 minutes, but that's just the first quarter of overtime. We will play until we have a winner. A shorter kick this time. Williams.
And a
flag is down, and Williams is down at the 20.
Man, there's a whole lot of flags. Flag day.
And it will be a hold against the Dolphins, so they'll start deep in their own territory. Now Lamar Smith is back as option number 1 in your offense.
Hello, Lamar. Welcome back to the game. Now he's really good.
And he's rested.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was talking about. With the amount of carries he's had.
Return, 27, receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Arturo Freeman called for the hold, and Smith already has a club record 160-yard rushing.
With the amount of carries that he had, you knew he had to get a little bit winded, so now this has given him an opportunity to get some fresh legs under him. Now you go back and do what you've been able to do, run the football. The change that has to be made will be by the Colts. I believe that they're going to have to commit more people to the line of scrimmage to try and stop Lamar Smith.
The last time they went 80 yards, only the 3rd time all year they have gone 80 yards for a touchdown. Smith gets only 1 to the 11. And if you thought turnovers were important during regulation, how about overtime? You make one mistake in overtime, you may be on your way home.
Well,
you make one, it's over.
Especially if you're the Dolphins backed up this far. You've got to be, Jay Fiedler must do a good job of protecting the football.
Smith with single sets out 3 wideouts. Fiedler with time, McDuffie. First down at the 25.
Well, what the Colts are doing, they're going with 4 defensive linemen, only 1 linebacker, and that's Mike Peterson, and 6 defensive backs.
Little play action. You know that you got to figure the Colts say Lamar Smith is going to be out there. No. O.J. McDuffie had 5 catches last week, 14 for the year, and now comes up with another big first down catch.
He is so good at finding holes in the zone,
and they've missed it.
Back to the ground game for Smith. Gang tackle as he got to the 29. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, the Indianapolis Colts defense have some players that are beginning to sort of wear down. Defensive tackle Ellis Johnson, he's in the game with a right knee sprain, so he's less than 100%. Jeff Burrs, well, he's been fighting the flu bug the entire game. In fact, he had to go into the locker room and get some rest, came out midway in the 3rd quarter, but he's also in the game. Both players are far less than 100%, Mike.
All right, Solomon, thank you. 2nd and 6 out of the eye. Smith on the toss. At the line of scrimmage, it'll be a big 3rd down for Miami. Josh Williams stood his ground in the middle of that line for Indianapolis.
I'm going to tell you what, this has been one great defensive football game.
And I'll tell you, the offenses have been very efficient. Long drives, opportunities. The Colts left the Dolphins in this game early. Had chances to put them away, put 21 points on the board, couldn't get it done.
Fiedler, who made every play on the last drive, has to do it again to keep this one alive. Now the Colts will take a timeout on defense.
Well, they were totally confused on defense because it went 3 wide Miami to the right, and they only had 2 people over there to cover them.
12:22 to go. First period of overtime. When we're done here, coming up next, the Rams and the Saints, the rematch of the NFC wildcard game from New Orleans. We are in overtime in Miami. The Colts and the Dolphins. It was a 14-0 Indianapolis lead. Miami has stormed back. 3rd and 6 for Fiedler.
O.J. McDuffie has been the big guy on 3rd downs for the Dolphins.
4-man rush. Fiedler with plenty of time. Incomplete. McDuffie got his hands on it and couldn't hold it. It would have been a first down.
Boy, Jeff Burrows, he was right there, number 20. Solomon said he's less than 100%, but you just suck it up and you have to give it your all. Take a look at Jeff Burrows. He knows that the ball's going to go to O.J. McDuffie. Look at this play. Watch, back to the outside. This ball it goes off of O.J. McDuffie's hands. He should have caught the ball.
He makes a one-handed catch, which was impossible almost. This one here just slips away.
High snap. Turk got it down, kicking into the wind. It got off a beauty with Ford Wilkins. Fair catch. He let it go, then has to go back and field it on the hop. What a play by Turk.
It's tough sometimes to catch when the wind carries it. Even though it's into the wind, you're not sure what it's doing. Now, I believe it just touches his left hand. He does a very smart thing. Watch that.
No, it didn't.
It didn't, but he wasn't sure and he wasn't taking a chance, and that's a good decision.
So the Colts backed up to their 18-yard line. Can Manning get anything going offensively? Surtain not aware of where the ball was. Harrison was, and he caught it for 30.
You know, I'm going to tell you, this is design play. This is where Manning throws behind the defensive back. Watch Marvin Harrison. Surtain is out there with him. Now watch this ball. It's thrown short. Surtain is looking at Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was looking at the ball.
You wonder why Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison spend so much time together working on the little things of the game. That's why.
Jim Morris so close to that first playoff win. Blitz coming. Manning with the out, complete to Harrison, taken out of bounds by Surtain in Miami territory at the 46. Vanderjagt, who has kicked 3 today, including a 50-yarder, would have an opportunity with the wind.
You know what's great about this kid as a kicker? His attitude. I mean, really, nothing bothers him. He doesn't, you know, the further away, the better for him. He doesn't care.
You were that way. As a punter, nothing bothers you.
As a punter, still doesn't. Punter, who was going to bother you?
They don't expect him to miss, ever.
Now, normally when Peyton Manning does this much walking behind the line of scrimmage, it's a run.
And it is. Edgerrin James trying for the first down. Still on his feet, fights for the extra yardage and has it.
Boy,
He's
Zach
done
Thomas,
that 4 or 5 times today.
Zach Thomas had a shot at him again and didn't hit him. And Zach Thomas is the one that told us, you have got to wrap this guy up. Because if you don't, he is strong enough, first of all, to stiff arm me, which he doesn't have to do here. So here it comes, 54 is Zach Thomas. Look at this. Bang, he's got the shot. He only gets him at the feet. That's not enough. And he gets the first down.
The other thing he said, he learned playing against the Dolphins because they come so hard, he can let them run by.
Manning again. Altering the play. This one tipped at the line of scrimmage. And it looked like it was Derek Rogers, the linebacker, who came on the blitz, pulled up, and blocked it.
You know you're not going to get to Peyton Manning. I mean, you just assume that. He's only been sacked 20 times this year. Watch number 59. Rush as far as you can, then get yourself some space away from Ken Dilger, and then focus on Manning's delivery and try and knock the ball in the air.
2nd and 10. Manning, quarterback draw, and he'll lose a yard. He thought he saw something, but it wasn't there.
Well, if you're going to run a quarterback draw, you have to sell it a few steps. I think he got in a little bit of a hurry this time. And with those two big guys in the middle, watch this. He takes one step, thinks he has room. He has nowhere to go. Plus Trace Armstrong and Jason Taylor wind up closing the middle.
The other thing, you don't run a quarterback draw if the middle linebacker sitting there in the middle, and that's where Zach Thomas, number 54, was.
And the ends played it so well, Zach never had a chance to get in on it. Manning wants to go to the sideline and talk about it on 3rd and long. If you joined us late, you have missed a beauty. The Colts got some help early from their defense. Chad Cota with the interception. Chad Bradsky with the interception. Cota with his second. Payton with the touchdown catch from Manning, and then down 14-0 in the 3rd quarter. Miami comes back to cut it in half. Then, with just seconds remaining in the game, Miami ties it.
This brings up an interesting decision for Jim Mora, because if they only pick up 4 or 5 yards, do you take a chance on a 50, 60-yard field goal, or do you punt it in, put your defense out, and try and let them go 70, 80 yards for a score?
Talking about Vanderjack now. Kick the field goal. Offside Miami.
Might be a free play for Manning. This is going to be close to first down territory at the 31, about a yard shy. Now we'll check the penalty. It looked like Lorenzo Bromell jumped offside.
Well, you look at the decision you got to make. You're looking at now about a 49-yard field goal as opposed to a 60-yard field goal. But you're going to get an extra down if you take the 5-yard penalty, which will only put you inside the 40.
I think you kick it.
Here comes Vanderjack.
Offside. Defense, number 91. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
This shows incredible faith in your place kicker.
Well,
it would have been 3rd and 7. Instead, 4th and 1. He will come on to try from 49. He's already hit 3, one of them from 50.
Right, and he hit it right down the middle.
Vanderjack 4 out of 6 in the final 2 minutes of the 4th quarter or overtime in the regular season. This will be from 49 to win it. No good. Miami is still alive. The kicker who never misses has just missed.
I'm not sure whether this doesn't get blocked at the line of scrimmage. Because he would kick it a lot further. Watch this, number 99, Jason Taylor, just to the left part of your screen. He jumps late. I think he just might catch a piece of that and forces the ball out to the right. Jason Taylor with a high surge. No, it goes over. Vanderjack just missed it right.
Vanderjack just rushed it.
And now Miami gets to start from its own 39. Fiedler to throw. That one wobbles out of there and almost picked. Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator. Yes, sir.
He's looking at you, Paul.
What's that? Look at that.
No way. Oh, what a job he's done. Jim Morris says, I still can't get the first one.
And their most reliable weapon did not come through.
Good decision there.
I thought so too. Fiedler. Back to Smith on the screen. Great cut by Lamar Smith. Boy, they had him dead to rights in the backfield. He got away from Belcher.
And did you see who was out front trying to lead Lamar Smith around the corner? That was Jay Fiedler, number 9. Trying
He's got a lot of guts, doesn't he?
He does. He's got a half an arm. Good job by Belcher. He really blows this thing up. But then Smith just doesn't stop. Now watch the right of your screen. Watch number 9 come into the picture. There he is, trying to throw a block.
With his left shoulder.
Trying to miss throwing the block.
Vanderjagt hoping for another opportunity. Will he get it? 3rd and 3 Miami. Fiedler rifles that one first down. And both players still down. Jeff Ogden was drilled.
They got hit right in the middle of the back.
Mustafa Muhammad on the coverage.
Jeff Ogden, number 88, gets himself beyond the first down marker and hooks himself up. But watch Muhammad right here. Bam, right in the back with his helmet. Excellent throw, excellent choice. And a great job holding on to the ball.
Jay Fiedler throwing the ball a lot more accurately here. Here's the pop, right square in the middle of the back.
Boy, and that ball needed to be fired in there, and it was. And you're right, Paul. Great job by Ogden, who makes his first catch of the game to hang on to that. Jay Fiedler in the first half was woeful. 5 out of 14, 3 interceptions. In the second half, he's reminding people of Marino. 13 out of 19. Dolphins 1st and 10 from the 48. Olindo Mate, who kicked a 49-yard game winner into the wind last week. Smith. Lamar Smith to the outside. Flag is down. May have been a face mask.
You know what? This is a situation where you have a safety. Chad Cota, who's going to come up and play the run because he knows it's a run, and then he sells himself away from the hole. You have got to make sure where the ball carrier is because you're the guy that has to make the tackle.
Number 80, offense. 10-yard penalty.
What a huge call. Tony Martin called for the hold downfield.
He's on Jeff Burris. Now, he does a nice job of shielding. There it is. See his left hand? That's what the referee sees. That flag comes in from the back judge, and that's a good call. He's got him with his left hand. Does a nice job of trying to help out, but won't let Burris go to try and make a play on Smith.
So it backs him up to the 44. Dave Wannstedt just livid Smith this time to the 41. So the penalty marked off from the spot of the foul, and it was 1st and 6.
You don't get that very often.
No, you don't.
Not too many 1st and 6.
Inching ever closer to an opportunity for Olindo Mate.
And Solomon brought up, I think, a very good point. He talked about in the middle of the 4th quarter, the fatigue that was setting in on this Colts defense. We've talked about them not being very big. They, again, have been out there an awful long time.
And now Miami will spend its first timeout in overtime, facing a 2nd and about 3.
You know, you got 2nd and 3, and you're still in the situation where Lamar Smith carries the ball.
Oh, yeah.
For the next 2 times.
And why not? He's got 183 yards rushing today on 36 carries. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike. The injury report on wide receiver Jeff Ogden. He had the wind knocked out of him on that hit. He's up and moving around. He's expected to return to the ball game.
Good news for the Dolphins, Solomon, because he made that huge catch that kept his drive going.
Well, they've gotten an awful lot of production out of Jeff Ogden and O.J. McDuffie. I mean, we haven't seen Oronde Gadsden but a couple times early in the game.
Here it comes. Colts come on the blitz. Smith crosses the 40, dragging tacklers with him near the 38. That was where he had to get for the first down. Guy runs hard, doesn't he?
He really does. I mean, he's so hard to bring down. When you look at the way he approaches tacklers, gets his shoulders down, he's got those big legs, gets his knees up, and there's very little that you can try and tackle. Built low to the ground.
He shattered Larry Zonka's Dolphin postseason record today.
Look at the average. 5 yards a carry. Did they make it, Paul?
Well, I'll tell you what. The way they mark it, Paul,
quick.
No.
Joe, he was waiting as long as he could till those chains were stretched out there.
How good am I? I'm the best of the best there is.
Yes, you are.
Ever.
I don't want to.
No.
So it's 3rd and inches. Vanderjagt beside himself after the miss, even though it was a 49-yarder.
Yeah, but it's uncharacteristic. You know, you make a 50, you got to figure the 40 is something you can knock through.
Mate has missed today. He missed a pair last week, but hit the game winner.
I think with this short of yardage, I'm not a big fan, nor was I when I played, of a quarterback sneak. But I think what you want to try and do is just pick up the necessary yardage with your quarterback.
Fiedler dive was really blasted as he went over the top, but appeared to have more than enough for the first down.
Boy, I'll tell you, he did get it, though. That's the perfect way to do it. That little hesitation, you get the snap. It's not a long time. It's just a little bit of a hesitation to let these guys clear out a little bit. Watch. Boom. Now, up over the top. All that ball has to do is just cross that plane.
Remember, he cannot extend the ball. He's got to get it out there far enough because he's got that pad shoulder.
Boy, did Peterson and Hollier give him a shot.
He's one tough guy.
Yes, he is. Smith. Colts string that one out. And Smith will only get a couple.
You got to be a whole bunch of guys on that Colt defensive line saying, how long do we have to look at this guy?
Well,
Lamar Smith.
Right here and right now, as Vanderjagt continues to ponder over what happened to him.
Vanderjagt, 25 of 27 during the regular season in his career, 86 of 96. He does not qualify for the all-time record because he doesn't have 100 makes. But if he did, he would be well above anybody else in the game. Fiedler, blitz coming, Gadsden. First down and more. Jason Feltzer made the tackle, but they're in field goal range now.
What you're seeing is a fabulous job by an offensive coordinator, Chan Gailey. He knows his football team so well. He knows the capabilities of his receivers and his quarterbacks. They try and bring the blitz off the corner, and that forces Belzer to go out and try and make the tackle on Gadsden. Manages to bring him down after he makes the first down. Lamar again, Paul?
Lamar again, Paul.
Smith.
Field goal.
I don't think you try it yet. I just think you keep pounding.
Lamar Smith has now carried the ball more than anyone else in NFL postseason history. 39 carries. He has 192 yards. Vanderjagt so upset after having the chance to win it himself. 2nd and 4. Smith. Cuts it out short. Lamar Smith. Touchdown. It's over. Lamar Smith, an incredible day. 40, count them, 40 carries, 209 yards, and the game-winning touchdown in overtime after the Colts missed a 49-yard field goal that would have won it.
We talked about the patience of Edgerrin James running the football. Watch the patience of Lamar Smith as he mounts 209 yards. Look at this. He almost stops completely. He lets the big guy, Tim Ruddy, get outside for him. O.J. McDuffie down the field trying to block. And you talk about a runner that will not be denied. They're locking up on him, and he will not be denied.
Jason Taylor celebrating as the Dolphins' improbable success continues. And Chan Gailey saw his offense come through when it had to. Down 14-0. They stormed from behind, got the tying touchdown in the last minute of regulation. And Jim Mora has yet to win that first postseason game. For a while, it looked like he had it in the bag, and Dave Wannstedt will have his season continue with the Dolphins. They will play the Raiders